Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Hamby. Sorry I can't be with you guys. I'm sick, so I will be out for a few days. So please make sure you turn to page 67 in your notebook. That's what we're going to be taking notes on today. Obviously, I'm going to have you try some on your own, so please pause this video as we go and try them yourself, and then I'll go and do it. Okay, also I need you to reference page 6 in your notebook. So I'll show you what that looks like. Should be in page 6. It's called product factors chart. All right, so I can factor trinomial using the box method. So here we go. All right, so here are the steps. I know this isn't in your notes, but I just wanted to go over the process for every single type of problem. The first one is always take that leading coefficient or that quadratic term and put it in the first box, and take the constant term and put it in the second box. So that's always what you're going to want to do first. Then step 2 is you're going to take the number in the front times the number in the back, and whatever you get there, we call it A times C. We don't know what that number is yet, but we want it to add or subtract to the middle number. So it multiplies to these, but adds to the middle, and that's going to go on the sides of your box. And then once you have this filled out, then it's just like what we did the other day. You fill out the sides, what goes here, what goes here, what goes here, what goes here, and then you write your answers. All right, so let's do an example. All right, here's example 1. First thing you want to make sure you do is have it in the correct form, so it's highest power to lowest. Awesome. All right, so now we're going to take that first term, put it in that first box, take that last term, put it in the last box. All right, so this is not new, but here is the new part. The new part is where you take the leading coefficient, which is your 2, and you times it to the back. So then you would ask yourself, what's 2 times 15? So this is what we call our A times C, 2 times 15. And we all know that's 30. So then I want you to go to our product factor chart on page 6 and list all of our factors of 30. All right, so here's what we need to do. We need to pick from this list of numbers, so 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6. We need to pick from this list one that is going to add to that middle number, okay, 11. Or it could possibly subtract to that middle number. So I know that 5 and 6 multiply to 30. 2 times 15 is 30, but adds to 11. So if we add these things together, they add to 11. So we basically are taking this middle term and splitting it up into a positive 5x plus 6x. So 5 plus 6 is 11, and we got that list from multiplying A times C. And then that's what's going to go on the side. It doesn't matter which one you pick. You could put 5x here, or 6x, or 6x, and 5. And then once you do that, it's just like what we did before, where you now have to look and see what can you factor out. So I always first look this way. So I have 2 and a 6. That tells me, oh, they have a 2 in common. They also both have an x in common. So I'm going to take out that. And then once you fill that out, everything else should just kind of fill into place, because you know 2x times what is going to be 2x squared. So this has to be an x. And then you can go here easily. 2x times what is going to be 3x. So it's like a puzzle. You're just going to fill in the puzzle. Oh, well, you know, this is 3 times what is going to give you 15. So this has to be a 5. And then once you fill out your sides, if they're on the same side, they go in the same parentheses. So 2x plus 5 and x plus 3. And like I said before, you can switch these. So if you wanted to write x plus 3 first and 2x plus 5 second, that's fine. All right, so let's do one more example, and then I'll have you guys try some. So hopefully you realize this next example is different. We start with the highest power, and then we don't have the lowest. So we got to rewrite it. So I'm just going to rewrite it. 6x squared minus 5x, and then minus 1. So we need to switch these so they're in the correct order. Alrighty, so now we're going to go ahead, always put the first term in the first box, the last term in the last box, And then this is the new part. You always multiply the A times the C. And we know A times C is -6. And I'll talk about that in a second. But we go to our product factors chart and we just find all of our factors of 6. All right, so here's the kicker. Since this one is a negative, they're going to subtract to the middle number instead of add to the middle number. Okay? And hopefully you realize if we add these, this would give us 5. But if we add this, it would give us 7. But since this is a -6, we want what's going to subtract to -5. So I know I have to pick this one because 1 minus 6 is -5. So we take this middle term, we split it up into a positive 1x minus 6x. And we know the 6 has to be negative because -6 plus 1 gives you -5. Where you might want to be tempted to use 2 and 3 because they add to 5. But if you did that, you would need -2 and -3, which you're right is -5. But if you multiply those, that would be a +6, and we want a -6. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, so we're going to put plus 1x minus 6x. Remember, order doesn't matter as long as you put them there. All right, I'm going to look. Oh, the only thing we have in common is an x. So I'm going to take out an x. Let me go ahead and erase that. And then obviously, an only way to get a 6x squared is this has to be a 6x. And then x times what is going to be 1x? Well, we know this has to be 1. 6x times what is going to be -6x. It's going to be -1. And just double check, -1 times +1 is -1. Bam, it works. So we're going to put 6x plus 1 in parentheses and x minus 1 in another one. All right, so example 3, I want you to try that one yourself. So pause this video, do the steps yourself, and then hopefully you paused it, did it yourself, and now let's see if you got it right. So there's no point in doing all of this if you don't try it yourself. So please give it a shot yourself. All right, first it's in the right order. So good. We're going to go ahead, put the 5x squared in the front, the +3 in the back. Now we're going to multiply 5 times 3. We all know that's a +15. And so from our product factors chart, here are the only factors of 15. And we want from this list that is going to, since it's a +15, it's going to add to 16. So what multiplies to 15 but adds to 16? That's going to be a 1x and a 15x. And always double check. Yes, 1 plus 15 is 16. So we're going to put them on the side. And then we're going to factor out. All right, and you can go any way. So I notice here, oh, we have these, 5 and 15. What number divides into 5 and 15? We know 5 does. And they also have an x in common, so we can take out an x. The only thing that can go here, because 5x times what is 5x squared, has to be x. The only way to get a 1x is if we multiply it by 1. So just remember, what does that have to be to get the middle? So if this is 5x, what does that have to be to get 15x? Hopefully, you know it's 3. And then take the last one. 3 times 1 is 3. And you know you did it right. So we're done. X plus 3 and 5x plus 1. All right, I think we can get away with one more example and then you should be good. And then you can just do your practice that is assigned in Google Classroom. All right, so once again, these are in the wrong order. So 3x squared plus 5x minus 12. Highest power to lowest. We know 3x squared goes first, -12. Pause this. Determine what needs to go on the sides. All right, so first thing you're going to do, unpause. Hopefully you paused it. Tried it yourself first. All right, so we're going to multiply 3 times -12. And we know we get all of our factors of 36. And so from this list of negative 36, I'm going to write it negative 36 because it's a negative 12. We know we need to subtract to 5 instead of add to 5. Since it's a negative 36, it needs to subtract to 5. So from this list, we know we have to do 9 and 4 because those subtract to 5. And so we need a negative 4x and a positive 9x. So that 9 minus 4 is 5. Oops, my bad, wrong button. All right, now we're going to put those on the side. Negative 4x plus 9x. And we're just going to factor out. What do we have in common? Well, you can go this way, you could go this way, it doesn't matter. I like to look at this number, 3 and 9. They have 3's in common. They also each have x's. This one has to be an x. Also, that's all these terms have in common is an x. You can even go this way. What do these numbers have in common? We have a 4 and a 12, so we know it has to be a 4. And here's always a double checker. X times 4 is not negative 4x, so you know this has to be negative. And then 3x times what is going to be 9x, so we know that's a 3. And just double check. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Bam, we got our answer. X plus 3, 3x minus 4. All right, so thanks for watching this video. I need you to now go to your worksheet and use Kami